Bye.
Mole. Mole. Mole.
Oh, shut up!
Mole, 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 mole.
History in the Hindi film industry has proven that actors can get categorized into certain genres of movies unless they take a conscious decision to choose different avenues to express themselves. In the commercial Hindi space for the longest time in the 90s, Akshay Kumar was considered to be an action movie star until he went on to do Hera Fairy in 2000, and the Indian audience was surprised to notice that the individual had phenomenal comic timing. Similarly, if you look at a new age actor like Shahid Kapoor, who was in a constant rut of forgettable films after the onset of his career, and only Vishal Bhardwaj's Kameene could provide him a pedestal for the audience to see him in a different light, specifically as an actor. The point is that unless a phenomenal film comes your way or you're willing to take the risk, only then can you break free from the shackles of being defined by the genre in which you have more or less made a name for yourself. This rut of being typecast is the reality of many actors today, mainly due to the security of consistent work that is offered to them. Mohammad Zishan Ayub, Varun Sharma and Apar Shakti Khurana have done a PhD in being the hero's best friend, and actors like Sonakshi Sinha, Katrina Kaif and Jacqueline Fernandez have done innumerable forgettable female leads in Hindi blockbusters. For them to truly be taken seriously as actors, there needs to be a consistent effort made in challenging oneself with their choices. This is one of the main reasons why actors like Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Manoj Bajpayee, Rajkumar Rao, Gulshan Devaiya, Vijay Verma are respected, because it's the stories that attract them to the roles rather than their commercial viability. It also helps me understand that the film industry at one point of time was segregated between actors and stars, between commercial cinema and commercial pot boilers. But slowly and steadily, is the audience tired of mediocrity in front of camera? I wondered when I thought about what makes a good actor. If you look at Cinema Beyond Entertainment's most popular video, The Anatomy of a Great Actor, you will realize the difference of the definitions of acting depending on the medium in which a story is conveyed. While international actors speak about film acting as a whole, we often see Indian actors talk about movie acting in regards to the pitch in which it is presented. Therefore, a Nawazuddin Siddiqui will of course have a different pitch in a film like Freaky Ali or Kick compared to a more restrained performance in a film like Photograph. Similarly, Rajkumar Rao in Stree is pitched much louder and animated than his performance in a film like Newton or Aligarh. While the traits of a good actor may range from aspects that are mentioned in the video, which include believability, unpredictability, vulnerability and the use of the body, what remains constant in interviews of several legends on what defines great acting is active listening. How acting is a lot to do with reacting.
So the notion of an actor going away and looking at a speech they have in their bedroom alone at night is a complete nonsense to me. What you have to say is completely incidental. All one wants to see from an actor, to me, is the intensity and accuracy of their listening. And then what you have to say will become automatic.
So the notion of commercial movie acting in India has a lot to do with what is considered filmy. Its acting is communicated by a lot of doing. It's animated, it's loud, it's expressive, whereas acting from a traditional and more effective and modern standpoint actually is about being and reacting with your co-star. Something I feel that is seeped into even the commercial space now. A beautiful example of this synergy includes the scene mentioned in the video from Lunchbox. A moment of vulnerability where a man who was otherwise quite obnoxious throughout the film sheds everything to just seek for a helping hand on his special day, just to have someone by his side. While I say all of this, I also acknowledge the importance of being pragmatic in a landscape such as India. This is a movie business, and when it is a business, what creators and especially producers are looking for is higher returns. Therefore, if in the commercial space the Rohit Shetty mass appeal guarantees me 3 to 4 times my investment, then I understand what type of acting thrives in the country. This is not to discredit them as actors, but to understand that they can be defined as stars or entertainers rather than magnificent actors. They adapt to the medium which has a mass appeal and demands a certain type of pitch, which is a USP of the director. So when it comes to actors like Kartik Aaryan and Parineeti Chopra, they are from that very school of acting. Acting that has garnered them financial success, and deservedly so, but right now, they are at the junction of taking risks. This is the point where the medium demands something else. The question is whether they are only a certain type of actor or actually possess a broad range where they can assimilate in any fictional world they are set in. Firstly, let's talk about the Dhamaka teaser. Before I get into Kartik as an actor specifically, let's talk about the movie. The film is a remake of the 2014 South Korean film The Terror Live. The South Korean film is about a man who, due to certain circumstances, is demoted from his primetime anchor job and is sidelined to host a 24/7 current affairs radio program, only for one fine day to be contacted and be alerted that a blast will take place. Not taking the threat seriously and urging the terrorists to carry on, the bridge is blown up. And what eventually manifests is how different parties use the situation for their own vested interests. Newscasters for notoriety, producers for TRP, and fringe groups for vengeance. Noticing the poster of Dhamaka, I assumed that the blast will take place on the Mumbai Sea Link, only for Kartik Aaryan and his TRP greedy producer Amrita Subhash to get an exclusive on the story so that all eyes are glued on them, only to realize in retrospect that they are dealing with a situation out of their control. Ram Madhwani is a phenomenal director who, beyond creating products like Neerja and Arya, has also churned out a convincing performance from an actor like Sonam Kapoor. While I was not convinced of the sharp pitch and dialogue delivery of Kartik from the teaser, I can only wish that it doesn't advertise his performance in the film's entirety. Kartik desperately needs a change from his comfort zone of playing the lovable and carefree boy from a small town in comedies, and I feel this will be the perfect opportunity. What did you think of the teaser? Lastly, let's talk about Saina. I had already spoken about the obsession of biopics in this country and how it isn't stopping anytime soon. While Saina Nehwal is the pride of our nation, there is something odd about the several films being made about such young and living talents, while so many who have passed and have contributed significantly in their fields are not getting the light of day of at least telling their stories. Irrespective, what I felt while watching the trailer was that Parineeti Chopra honestly seems like a misfit as Saina Nehwal. I know this is preemptive and I acknowledge the capability of a creator like Amol Gupte, but the initial casting of Shraddha Kapoor as Saina Nehwal looked spot on as a casting decision. After presumably irreconcilable differences of time being dedicated to the role, Shraddha, who I thought was the perfect fit, was replaced. While Parineeti could not impress audiences or critics with her performance in The Girl on the Train, I'm not a fan of the approach taken by the creators to mimic exactly the mumbling and monotone delivery of the real Saina Nehwal. Parineeti also from a physical standpoint doesn't mirror the body language of Saina, but as I noticed the trailer further, it made me think that Parineeti would have been a better fit if she was portraying the role of Jwala Gutta rather than Saina Nehwal. I mean, the little kid playing Saina seemed to be more understated and convincing as the little Saina rather than Parineeti herself. While I understand how the movie is going to be inspirational, especially for young women who think 10 times before pursuing sport professionally in this country, I hope the film is not as inconsistent as the size of the mole on Parineeti's face, that from one angle has the subtlety of a seasoned actor, but from another angle is as melodramatic as Austin Powers. I hope Parineeti has taken a different approach other than the filmy one to mark this appearance as the one that changes the game for her. But I have to say that from the trailer, it just looked like a generic coming-of-age story that will take the patriotic route. And honestly, we have seen that so many times in so many biopics. What did you think of both the teasers? Write it down in the comments below. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.